Mark Carney has unveiled his platform today, and he's promising $130 billion in new government spending, adding $225 billion to our federal debt. Can we really afford this? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jonny Says So, episode 34. And today, we're talking about Mark Carney's newly announced platform and costed budget that he has just unveiled at an event in Whitby, Ontario. And man, it is going to balloon our national debt to $225 billion. That's right, guys. This is from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. As you can see here, this is going to completely shoot past Justin Trudeau's original projection of $131 billion. It's absolutely crazy, guys, considering didn't these same people throw Chrystia Freeland under the bus for going over her budget by $20 billion? All while this economic genius was at the helm of, well, not at the helm, that was Chrystia Freeland working together with him, but he was Justin Trudeau's economic advisor, and now he's pretending not to have a hand in any of this. Now, at the event, Mark Carney spent the first 10 minutes drumming up fear and uncertainty about Donald Trump's tariffs, promising that the government was going to swoop in with more inflationary spending as a solution to the crisis that they manufactured.
Canada is not America, and it never will be. But we need to do more than just recognize that. We need a plan to deal with this new reality. Because when you're in a crisis, plan beats no plan. A plan provides direction in the fog of uncertainty. It provides purpose. It rallies the team. It drives action. And to succeed in a crisis, you have to act with overwhelming force. We need to overcome the natural anxieties that people feel. We need to break through the uncertainty which is freezing our businesses.
Freezing our businesses. That was you guys for 2 years during COVID. You shut down all sorts of small businesses, while big box stores and government-run liquor stores were allowed to stay open.
We need to replace, more than replace, what the crisis is taking away from us. Look, it's said there are no atheists in foxholes. There should be no libertarians in crises.
So what he just said there should be no libertarians during a crisis. He is putting all of his cards on the table and letting you all know that central planning is going to be the way forward, and that he doesn't think there's any room for any other solutions in the market except top-down central planning. This notion that there can be no libertarians during a crisis is so ridiculously absurd. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I feel vindicated over the COVID insanity. How many of us were saying that everything we were doing, printing money, and all of our out-of-control inflationary spending would put us in the exact same situation that we are in today? It's absolutely ludicrous.
As in a crisis, and this is what happens in a crisis, the private sector retreats. And government needs to step up. Government must lead and catalyze private investment. I know from traveling across our great country that Canadians are ready to step up. Canadians don't just want to resist the U.S. Canadians are determined to win.
Well, those Canadians are severely misinformed. We absolutely cannot win a trade war with the United States. It's economic suicide to even suggest that we can do so. Canadians are not ready to stand up to Americans. The only thing that's going to happen here is our retaliatory tariffs are, I've said it before, guys, but our retaliatory tariffs are attacks on Canadians. They are going to hurt nobody but Canada. And Mark Carney is promising you the world in spending that my children and my unborn grandchildren will be paying for in the future so that we can prop up businesses and laid off workers in a crisis that the Liberals helped push along. So on one hand, Mark Carney is saying we need a massively large and bloated central planning bureaucracy that hands out taxpayer money from the top down, but now watch him in the same speech completely contradict himself.
La création de bons emplois.
On creating good jobs
La création de richesse pour l'ensemble
and
du Canada.
creating wealth for all of Canada.
Our plan. Our plan gets government spending under control because the government has been spending too much and Canada has been investing too little.
Our government has been spending too much and Canada has been investing too little. Okay, Mark. Obvious question for you. What was your role in that as Justin Trudeau's economic advisor? So we've been spending too much, you say. So, again, how do we justify this graph? Spending too much and investing too little. Anyways, continue.
Let me draw that out. Day-to-day government spending, the government's operating budget, has been growing by 9% every year for years. That's more than twice the rate of growth of our economy. We're going to bring that level of spending growth down from 9% to 2%. And we will do it in a way. We will not cut any transfers to provinces, to territories, or individuals. We will protect all of those. But we will balance our operating budget over the next 3 years by cutting waste, by eliminating duplication.
So this is starting to sound a lot like the budgets will balance themselves. Justin Trudeau's famous line when he was running in 2015. And now, over a decade later, we are repeating history. Now, you would hope that the average Canadian can think about all of this critically and see right through Mark Carney, but sadly that's not the case. So Tokyo Rosie put this up on Twitter, mating call of the white-haired Canadian boomer looking to fuck over their grandchildren.
Elbows up! 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 Elbows up!
Now, I don't think the caption above this video is hyperbole at all. I really do think, whether these people realize it or not, they are selling the future of their grandchildren out right from underneath them. It's really kind of sad to watch. Now, Pierre Poilievre responded to Mark Carney's budget, so let's go take a look at that. Mark Nixon put this up on Twitter. Pierre Poilievre breaks silence. Carney's platform makes Trudeau look like a fiscal conservative. Yeah, spot on. Carney plans a $250 billion debt explosion.
Was about Mr. Carney's $130 billion in new spending promises. To be clear, these promises are above and beyond all of the spending Justin Trudeau had already budgeted for. If you add Justin Trudeau's promised deficits with the new spending from Mark Carney, a fourth Liberal term will add $250 billion of new inflationary debt that will drive up food costs, housing costs, and taxes. You cannot afford a fourth Liberal term. We need a change. On Conservatives, we'll bring that change in our platform. We will cut bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, handouts to corporate insiders and lobbyists to bring down deficits, taxes, and inflation. We will also...
Now what he said there, corporate insiders and lobbyists, that is the quote-unquote investments that Mark Carney is talking about. They're all going into the green slush funds that him and Trudeau's buddies run.
So grow revenue by about $70 billion by unlocking resource projects all across the country, as validated by economists, independent economists. The result is our conservative plan for a change will mean you can afford a home, food, and a great life on a safe street. And that is the choice in this election. A fourth Liberal term of rising costs and crime, or a change with a new Conservative government that will cut your taxes, deliver affordable homes and food on safe streets.
So that was Pierre Poilievre, consistent as always, as opposed to Mark Carney, who seemed to say two very different things in the same speech. And that's my show for tonight, guys. Now, I'd love to turn it over to you folks in the comments now. What do you make of all this? How do you feel about being on the hook for $250 billion? So thanks for watching, guys. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button on your way out, so that way you could be notified of all the content that I'm going to be putting out in the days, weeks, months, and hopefully years to come. And hit the like button if you enjoy what you see, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.